Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Mistress of Darkness Stories of the Macabre Volume 2 celebration stream. Dell is back as we talk about her second collection of stories available now.
Yay!
Yeah, we've a lot's been happening over the last few weeks, so we kind of had to juggle this about because oh my
Yes.
word, September, October's just been mad.
Crazy, eh? You've been so busy.
Fuck, it
Yay!
never stops. Honestly, I'm already talking about stuff for December and so forth already, in January, and I'm like, oh god, November hasn't even bloody finished
Yeah.
yet, not even started, and I feel like I'm already thinking towards the end of the month, the next month, and not where I am, if that makes sense.
Yeah, the life of a publisher and a
Yeah.
podcaster
Oh god,
and
yeah,
a writer.
it's all go, 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 and it never stops. But same as yourself, flip's sake, you're building your network. You've got your niche now with indie filmmakers, which
Hell yeah.
not just, what I mean, that's something that just started and it's really taken off. And
Yes.
this is your second, what I mean. I think something we should premise is yes, this is first one was in June, wasn't it?
Yep.
Right in June.
June, Friday the
So
13th.
yeah, so within 6 months you've two books out, but this is
Yes.
work that's been going on for years. What I mean, you've been working on these, writing these stories. They've kind of been in the back burner, just waiting to get the
To be
plan
put
together to
into a
start putting them
book.
out.
That's right. Yeah. So I think some of these went back as far as 2022. So been knuckling away at them and over the time, and basically was looking for an outlet to put them into an anthology, and there you were, my friend, the publisher, and now we've got these two, and they look
Absolutely.
fantastic, absolutely gorgeous together on the shelf. Yeah,
How
yeah,
does it feel?
absolutely.
Um, how does it feel from the concept and the idea, and
Oh,
you've been a writer for a long time, you've been involved in a lot of groups, but up to that point, it was still an idea to have it in print.
yeah.
How have things changed for you, get crossing that barrier, so to speak? And has there been a difference between the first book coming out, the feelings, and the second book? How
Oh,
Talk us about
well,
that.
honestly, from the concept of it to actually physically having the books in my hand, kind of like, I don't know, it cemented the fact that, I'm now a published author, and all that hard work for 6 years, of doing courses and all that sort of stuff, putting myself out there, networking, to physically actually have the books in my hands. It's like a dream come true. It's what I've always wanted, but I was so stuck doing other things for other people, and also putting my books and my stories into other people's anthologies like Wicked Shadow Press and Lee Murray and all that.
And horrific
Um,
tales.
yeah, horrific tales. Yep, that's right. As well as you know, it's just helping other writers with their projects. Mine kind of went on the back burner because I didn't really want to. Well, I have to go out and find publishers because I've done that before, and it can be a bit disheartening when you've got like 20 rejection letters coming through and all that sort of stuff. It does kind of, I can see why people drop out of it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because they're trying and trying to promote their books and stuff like that. But what they're doing is they're not really putting themselves out there. And whereas what you do is, as soon as you've published a book, you bring the author onto your channel where everybody gets to see who is the author behind these books. And it's a bit daunting, but it's also really an amazing feeling. And it's like an accomplishment. It's been, brewing for so many years, and then finally to have two books come out in 6 months was like mind blowing. Like, I can't believe how fast the process was, especially with the first book. I mean, we flew through that
But
so fast.
those stories anyway. That was the thing. Quite a few of those stories hadn't been published but featured on the channel,
Yeah,
the
that's
horror
right.
related fiction. So I had them.
Yes.
So I was able to play about and show you what it looks like. And I think that was the thing, wasn't it? When you see the thing starting to manifest and take shape
Oh.
on a page, then it's easy to do. Because we've, it's not like I just threw it together and stuck it out. Like we've had a lot of back
Oh
and
no.
forth, you know what
Yeah,
I mean?
absolutely.
People don't see. But
Yep.
it's the back and forth and the putting the document up in the big highlighter pen. I like highlighter pens.
Yes.
You know,
They're the best.
not copious amount of notes. I'm a simple creature. It's like, fix that. You
Yep.
know, that needs to
Funny, that's
move
what
up
I
or
do.
down. Yeah.
Yep.
But
Yep.
all that planning, you know, that's how the end can come together quickly, is when you spend the time planning and preparing,
Yeah.
then it does seem easy. But if you're, I suppose, just coming out from scratch, don't have an idea of what the thing's going to look like, and we even talked
Yep.
about the theme, how it was going to look. So
Yep. That's
once
right.
that was clear, it was easy to move forward. You know what I mean? It was just once that communication happened and
Yes.
we had that, you know, the plan, and we're on the same page and we're working together, then yeah, it's just a matter of putting the work in and getting it done.
Yeah, yeah, that's right. And that backwards and forwards that, you know, goes on in the backgrounds, those are really intricate details, you know, that your supply. Hello, thank you, Chris. Congratulations to you too, buddy. So, you know, and with the second book, I think because we got into the flow of the first one, it was easier for me to decide, oh, actually, I'm going to change the themes just slightly for this one. Yeah, so yeah, no, the process was not only enjoyable, but a really awesome learning curve. So, you know, it's going to help us in the future so that we know we can work together really well. And I think that's what you really need as a publisher that is actually going to, you know, put themselves out there and believe in you. And that's what you did. You believed in my stories.
Well, we have been
And
working together for years through the podcast.
yeah,
So working together through the publishing aspect, I didn't really see as any different.
no,
You know what I mean?
no, not at all.
This isn't like a
Yeah,
5 minute thing. Boom. You know, we've built this friendship and working relationship over years. You know what I mean?
yes,
It wasn't a 5 minute thing. It's, you know what I mean? It's taken that amount of time to get to that comfortable point where
yes,
nobody feels like somebody's having a job. It's the other one and blah blah blah. And we've both got the same goal, which is to get the book out there and get it, you know, into as many hands as possible.
yeah, yeah,
So yeah, I don't. Just thinking as a publisher, you know, it's still a strange concept to me being known as a publisher, if that makes sense. Because it's still only the
oh,
first year, not even the first year.
yes,
Like next month, it's the
nearly.
24th of
Yep.
December is when Horrific Tales Volume 1 first came out. So we're
Wow.
not even a year down the line of the publishing journey.
I know. And look how
Um,
many books you've pushed out. Oh my goodness. 7. That's
it's I wasn't
incredible.
expecting that at all. If that makes sense. Like every
No.
time I put the submissions, etc., I always worry, you know, is this where it's going to fall flat in his face before it even started, or you know, you've all that stuff going on in the back
Yeah.
of your mind.
It
It's
didn't
the same
happen,
as with
thank goodness.
yourself, you know. It's like, am I going to say something going to really upset you because it's your story, or am I going to format it a different way, or we're going to clash on something, and you know, blah blah blah. It's amazing the doubt that goes through the back of your mind, even when people have been working together for years. But I think
Yeah.
that's natural. I think.
I think it is too. I really do. It's like an organic process, you know. It's like it just flows, you know, like I don't know, like the amount, you know, the amount of books that you've, you know, as a publisher that you've published now is, and I'm so happy to be a part of that journey as well. I mean, what was I? Horrific Tales 1, 2, and 3. I was in
Was three
those.
was three
Yep.
out when we did Mistress of Darkness 1?
Um.
Or was 3
Yes.
coming out?
No, 3 came out before. Oh
3
no,
came out. No,
it
that
was
was
around
July.
the same time.
It was after
Yes,
2, yeah. It was
that's
after
right.
2. Yeah, this came out before 3. Or sorry,
Yep,
volume
and
1.
then the third one. Yep. So the volume 1 came out. Yep, and then then you had the serial killers
Yeah,
anthology.
volume 3 came out, and then
Yep.
Chris's Crazy Theories, first
Yes,
foray into foolishness came out, then
and
volume
then this
2.
one.
Yeah, it's hard to keep track sometimes because because we're already thinking of the next projects. You know what I mean? We're already
Yeah, exactly.
working on like 4 books down the line. That makes sense.
I
2
know.
weeks left for submissions for volume 4. We're working on
Wow.
searching for the perfect butterfly, and I'm sure we've got a couple of other things.
Yes,
I know
got
you've
some
got
other things in the pipeline.
the third book. Sorry, you're starting to
Yes.
work on in this series.
Yes. Yep. Yep.
But in terms of feeling between volume 1 and volume 2, what's the difference? Was there a
As
major difference like when you got volume 2 in your hand compared to volume 1?
my feelings. Oh
Yeah.
no, no, it's like I suppose one probably thinks your first book's the but the second book is like it cemented it for me, if you know what I mean. It's like the feeling of the first book was absolutely like I still like I was in shock for quite a while afterwards once I got it because I was just like, oh my god, I can't believe this. Not I can't believe this. I shouldn't say that. That's a bad thing to say. Like, oh my god, this is amazing. What an accomplishment. And then the second book, it was just like I don't the confidence, my self-esteem as a writer, you know, all those doubts kind of have gone away now because of the two that have come out. And they're both kind of a bit different than each other as well. So I don't know. Just when you physically got the box in your hand, it's like it's your baby, and it's come to fruition. It's like your dreams. It's my dreams come true,
Mhm.
and this is what I've been wanting to do for 6 years since I started my very first creative writing course, and all I wanted to do was have my One Dead Sister novel published, and that was all my goal. And then all of a sudden, bang, I'm in anthologies and I'm doing all this and I'm doing all that. And then it's like, you said, well, what about putting an anthology together? And I'm like, hell, I've got like 30 stories backed up there, that have never been published before. Only read out on your podcast. I think that's about it. And then all of a sudden, bang, I've got the box in my hand. It was just like, oh, mystical and yeah, just amazing. It's just, I don't know, just still gives me goosebumps. And I read my stories over and over again because I just love the fact that it's my book. You know what I mean? It's just, I don't know. I suppose you just get a bit giggly and giddy, and yeah.
That's
I
the thing
mean,
as
you
well.
should know. You've published books as well. You've got
Whenever
your own books.
oh yeah. The
Yeah,
problem is
yeah.
because
I
I'm not
mean,
too happy about the first one. I'm still got it in the back of my head, so I'm planning to
oh,
get back and redo that and flesh it out because I felt like I was very rushed.
I read it and I loved it. I don't
Uh,
know what.
yeah,
Anyway,
I need to promote those more. That's terrible.
yes, you've forgotten about them, haven't you?
Do you know what? It's because I'm a forward momentum person,
Yeah.
and I forget to look back. Do you know what I mean? I'm always
Hey,
thinking of the next thing.
you could refurbish them or revitalize them, whatever they're called, and publish them again.
Oh no, I could do that. That'd be an option. But
It
I've
is.
another collection I'm working on, which I want to put
Okay.
out first.
All right.
So it could be years, like 20th anniversary or something, when I go to do those again.
Wow.
Um,
Oh my
do you know what I mean?
gosh.
Like I said, I'm forward momentum. It's thing, but like you're saying, when I like Horrific Tales, the series,
Yeah.
even though I've looked at these stories umpteen times while looking at them, editing, putting together, I still read them when the book comes out.
Yeah,
Does
exactly.
that make sense? It's like,
Yeah.
oh, it's physical. There's something about the physicality of a book, like is to me still magical.
Oh, it is. Digital can never replace a physical book. Never. No matter what. There's
No,
no
no,
way.
and that's why people are going back to even CDs and vinyl and cassettes, even cassettes and VHS
Cassettes. I know.
are becoming a thing now
Yes, they are.
because it's a tactility
Yes.
and it's the owning something and it's an idea manifested into physicality. That is so important.
Yeah, it is. For any creator, really, have a physical product, that they can actually see, have on their shelves, show to people, take to conventions and all that sort of stuff. I mean, it's just like, so these two books are going to be in Lower Hutt, so in the Hutt Valley, Wellington area libraries.
Mm-hmm.
So when I've requested those, so they'll be going into the libraries, which is really exciting for me because they're my friends who want to read the books but couldn't be bothered buying them. Can go and get them out now at the library. Yeah. Some people.
But here's the thing, people. Well, that'll help too because it's what people don't
Yeah.
understand. It's not about the physical ban. Um, I don't know. There's something about creators. People expect if you know a creator, you expect a free ride.
Yeah.
There's that thing, but what they don't understand, it's not just the amount of money. It's by purchasing the book. It's put, for example, if it's in a local bookstores, but holds 20 of your books. If they don't sell those 20, they'll not order anymore. But if they sell
That's
those
right.
20 out within the space of a week, they'll want
Yep.
more. And
Yeah.
that's where people can really help an indie author. If you buy it online from an online bookstore, not only does it bump up in the algorithm, but things like leaving a review and stuff, it all helps. It makes that book more visible to other people. It's the
Yeah.
same as doing this and watching the videos and sharing them as we go on about. These are simple things people can do that
Yes.
mean the world. And when you're up against like the big publishing houses, we got distracted. That's why we were a couple of minutes late. Going online, we got waffling before we even started. But big publishing house, they have a warehouse. I mean, they have their own printing companies.
Yes.
That just churn out thousands of copies of a book from a centralized warehouse. We're never going
Yep.
to compete with that.
No,
That's
never.
even with a lottery win, it would only be short term. You're not competing with that. So we understand that and we don't get angry about it. It's
Yeah.
just the way it is. If we had our own printing press, we'd be turning them out ourselves and shipping them everywhere at
Yeah.
10p a copy. It'd be easy to do, but we live in reality.
Yeah.
So every person that buys an independent, small press published book, that all helps. It's the bigger picture. It's not even just the monetary value. It's
Yes.
bumping it putting it into the zeitgeist. If you even buy it and give it to your local library as a donation, because you can with these,
Yeah.
because it's all done up that way, so you can. That's why they've got their own ISBN numbers and stuff, and that I've went through all
Yes.
that process is because you can then donate them
That's
to your
right.
local library. If you're just self-published through Amazon, you can't. They won't accept them because of the
Yep.
generator one that Amazon does because it's just specific to their company. But these you can. So
Yeah.
even if you bought a copy, donate to your local library, it's out there in the zeitgeist. Somebody else can read it. And even if
Yeah.
somebody else maybe borrows the first one, reads it, well, they can discover the rest.
Yes.
So
Exactly.
if you're friends
Yeah.
and family of a creator and you want to support them, it really is buy their books, buy their products, even if it's just share around, or if you're not particularly a fan of it, but you want to support the person, that's fine. Get the thing,
Yeah.
give it to someone else, donate it to the local library, give it to a Goodwill store, a charity shop or something. I mean, there's loads of ways you can help, but the big thing is just
Yes.
getting the copy and going,
Yep.
getting bumped up the charts.
Yep. That's right.
These are big things, just making, what I mean? Because once it bumps up, then it self propels the computer programs, the algorithms, then start going, oh, this is valuable. People like
Algorithms.
this, and start sharing it around, and then the whole thing snowballs. That's how things become
Yes.
successful.
Yeah, absolutely. And also, like entering your, like you've done stories and your collections, to what do you call them?
Oh yes,
Oh, look, awards like the Julius Vogel. What's his name? Julian Vogel. Oh God,
oh
blimey,
yeah,
I'm
yeah, Julian
terrible
Vogel.
with
But
names.
you both
Yeah, things
these have
like that.
been nominated. Um, have been entered for the Shirley Jackson Awards for
Shirley
short story
Jackson.
collections.
Ah.
So that was something I did this week because I can as a
That's
publisher.
that's another thing that is just brilliant about it as well, is that, you know, when you do have your own collection, you can start entering into competitions and stuff like that to see if, you know, all of this is adding to like my CV, if you know what I mean. I don't know
Mhm.
where my CV's going. But
No, but everything you do, every accomplishment, that it all, you know, what I mean, it all adds up.
yes, yes, it does, and just that feeling of just accomplishment, you know. I've worked in jobs where, you know, it's just a job sort of thing, and now I'm living my dream, and to have the physical box in front of me is it's really hard to explain. It's a dream come true, but it's more than that. It's like believability, you believing in my work, you wanting to publish my work. Because sometimes, you know, like I've looked at those stories in the past and I'm like, you know, what the hell am I going to do with these? So some of them I've put into anthologies along the way.
Mhm.
And, you know, it wasn't until you mentioned that, why don't I get my own anthology together? I was like, how am I going to do that? You know, it's just that thing about that. Oh,
That was
what
even
do I
before the
do?
publishing
That's
company started.
scary. Yeah,
This is
yeah,
a conversation that's
exactly.
been going on about 3 years, I think, and I hadn't
Yeah.
even thought of the. I hadn't even really formulated the idea of starting a publishing company at that point.
No, no, you hadn't. It wasn't even the pipelines. I think you
No,
thought about it years ago, years and years ago, perhaps. I think you said
I
once upon a
I
time
knew I
ago.
wanted to do something with horrific tales. I knew I wanted to lead into something,
Yeah,
but I wasn't quite sure what. I wasn't
and
too
now
sure
it's
how it was
led
going to
into,
go.
yeah, yeah. It is. It's yeah, it's very profound, isn't it?
It's a fun journey, I have to say. It's
It
stressful.
is.
It's a lot of work. Um, there's a lot of doubt, but at the same time, it's something rewarding. You know,
Yeah,
you're not being a pacifist, and you're being proactive in the world.
yeah.
You're not waiting for everything to come to you. Something winds me up,
No.
and that's why I don't really go into writing groups and so forth. Is the hangers on that put
Yeah.
author in their name and they've nothing. And it's obvious from the
Oh,
types of no body of work, nothing, but the want to call themselves author. It's I think it's partly mental illness or something, that a compulsion, but
yeah.
they want to
I would say.
chat, they want to take
Yep.
part in all the discussions, but they've no actual body of work. And I'm always suspicious of that. And they're always the most
I am too.
critical. You know what I mean?
Yep.
They're is a
Yep.
spite or envy or something.
It
And to me, it's a
is.
waste of energy if you just knuckle down and do the thing. It, and this isn't even about, there's no get rich quick scheme with this stuff. This is the long
No.
haul. This is
Yeah.
realistically a 10-year process.
Yeah.
Like, there's no if, buts, or maybe about it. This isn't, nobody is ever going to tell you, you publish your first book and you're in all the book stands and you're like going off your private jet.
Yeah.
That's not flipping. Even making a living wage from this is not the reality. It's
Yeah,
hard.
it's so funny when you tell people you're an author, they think you're a millionaire, and it's like, "Are you for real?" I mean, maybe Dean Koontz and, Stephen King, yeah, but,
Yeah, but
you know,
even
I
they
bet
never started off.
no, they started off, you know, from the bare bare bones. How many years did it take for Stephen King to kick off? How long did it take for
20
Dean
or
Koontz
something.
to Clive
Like,
Barker? Yeah.
yeah, these are not um like overnight. The overnight success is after 10 years of hard work.
Yeah.
You know, and that's the thing. But people are very don't know, I'm trying not to be too disparaging, but people are very basic or something, have a really basic idea of how things work. And they don't
Yes.
see. They just see the shiny lights and they don't see the stuff that goes in the background just to make things happen.
Yeah. Like for example, so I went on to my local, what do you call it, official notice board thing online, and I promoted myself. I put myself out there. I put an AI generated photo, the beautiful banner you made for me. I made up a lovely post about wanting extra income to help, publish my books with my film journeys and all that sort of stuff. And the amount of people that came back and said, "You're using an AI generated picture, that's disgusting." And
that's not AI generated.
No, I'm just like,
That's a
anyway,
photograph. That
there's
is a
a
photograph of
photograph.
you
Me.
that I'm an old school Photoshop post,
Yes.
desktop publishing person. I don't use AI for stuff like that. That's actually your photograph that I just got the
That's
airbrush out
right.
and did the weird shit with, and I'm no
And it
graphic artist, mate. It's
Yeah, but people were ripping into me for using an AI generated picture, and I'm thinking, you ignoramuses. Seriously? You've got
even
no idea. God.
if you go back to even this channel, right? If you look at all the decal and the logos and stuff,
Yeah.
you can see the journey. See us behind us
How
now.
it's changed. Yes.
This is not
Yes.
AI. This is copy and paste from what do you call that? Licensed stuff. I mean, I took a bit of list. I've went through. I mean, I had to sit and cut them trees out.
Yeah.
I had to sit and
Oh my God.
friggin' up full thing. Cutting them all out to make sure that that was right,
that they all
and
in
that
the right
was.
place.
And plus, that's not. What I mean. That's one, and then it's the other side flipped over, and then it's put together, and then I went and sourced the eyes, and when the eyes are all, I mean that wasn't 5 minutes. That's been 5 years worth of work to get to that point.
Wow.
No AI, because I mean, I know AI. You go type, and it brings you up something. Now the promo images, the zombies and stuff, that's AI.
Right, yeah,
But that's not, I mean, that's
100%.
just flipping. I mean, that's just thrown out. That's just for a promo post. I don't care about that. That's not the backbone of the channel. It's the same as this stuff. That's what I mean. It's not AI. It's actually,
That's
and
not.
you saw the photographs sourced, and I mean the links and stuff were got the licenses and stuff, and then I went and once again and the sharing, and you saw, in fact,
the whole process.
You saw the process with your name to get it to come out like that.
Exactly.
That was like layers upon layers and bringing it up and back, and we had it going this way, and it just didn't look right, and then we had it going that, and I tried different things, and eventually we got there. You know what I mean? AI had nothing to do with it.
AI had nothing to do with it. That's right. And it's just like the minute somebody sees something like that, they just automatically think AI, and it's just like, well, excuse me.
That's just the buzzword, right? That's everyone just said. It's like when everyone says social media, that's the reason thing, and they don't want to look any deeper into
the ins and outs. Yeah, exactly. I mean, people still use Photoshop, guys. Not everybody uses AI, and I don't have a problem with AI as well because I think they do some really amazing images.
Each has their own use as long as you're not using it to just
to write stories or to do artwork. It's just like and to play it off as your own. No. Actually, I have to tell you, I have no idea how to use AI. Like
it's a programming language.
I've never used it. Yeah, I know. It's a program that I've never used, so I don't know why people are saying that. But, it's like when you put yourself out there, you're going to get trolls, and it's how you handle them. And like I was saying, I've been looking in New Zealand for jobs for reviewers, along the line of what I want to do. I wanted to just extra income to help with publishing stuff with my word processor and all that, printer and all that sort of stuff. And
when you doesn't come cheap,
it doesn't. No, the whole setups. Yeah, exactly. People don't understand. It's I don't know. I'm not going to say they're ignorant. I guess they just don't understand the process of a book, and all that stuff, and putting yourself out there and self-promoting. The minute you put yourself out there, there's going to be people that are going to go, well, why are you even on? Why are you even saying all
I
this?
didn't
Because
give you permission to be out here in the world. How dare
yeah,
you?
exactly. Exactly. Who are you? We don't care that you're an author and a reviewer, and other people are like, yay, finally somebody who's puts themselves out there and doesn't give a shit what people think, and it's just like, I don't
I
know.
have
People
seen
are
the change in
weird.
you, Dale.
You have?
Yeah, because honestly, a fire has been lit under you. Like, you used to be so passive and so easygoing,
Yeah,
and
I know.
almost rolled over for people, and something
Mm.
hit somewhere along the line. I don't know whether you started your YouTube channel or what, but you've got this hard, and I appreciate it, this hard edge, because you need it. That thick skin, and you're like, I'm not taking this shit anymore. I'm just go away.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? And
yeah,
God, I remember those dickheads you were putting your head away, like you were near about to give up everything.
yeah,
I think it was
yeah,
around about then that you actually, it was like a crucible. You went through the crucible, and instead of getting melted down and broken, you get forged and you come out the other side. And
yeah,
I've seen a strength in you,
yeah.
and you're just not taking any shit. And I really
Nah.
appreciate that.
It's having friends like you, Colin. Seriously, I
I don't
mean,
know if
after
to get
what?
you in the more trouble.
No, that's good. No, no, no. After what happened with that Anthony guy, going on about me, I think you brought me back to earth for about an hour after that happened. You were still talking to me about it for like an hour after our stream, because you could see how upset I was about it. And then, talking to you, it was just like, actually, you're right, because that's who I am. I am that sort of person who's like, actually, I don't give a fuck, but because I am a caring person, I did start caring about what other people were saying. And then it's just like you bringing me back down to earth, saying, that you don't need these people, and keep going and slam them on your channel if you have to. And that's when it started. Basically, I just turned around and I'm like, nah, I'm actually too old for this shit. You get to a point where you're just like, I've got my niche, I've got my game, I know what I'm doing, and I'm just going to do what I'm doing. And if anyone's got a problem with it, well, it's their art, it's their
And that's
problem.
something you built yourself.
Yeah,
I mean,
absolutely.
that is 100% like you built that whole like reviewing the indie movies, getting in
Indeed.
touch with building your own contacts with directors, and that people I've never even seen or talked to. Um,
Yeah.
that's brilliant. That shows that you're forging your own path.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, the thing is, I am so 100% supportive of indie creators, whether they're writing a book or whether, they're making a film. It just inspires me to know that there's people out there that are doing what they want to do, and they're not buying into these bandwagons that you and I have talked about on this channel. And you've had podcasts about sensitivity and horror and morality and all that sort of stuff. And I think it's really important that people know that indies doesn't mean B budget. Indie doesn't mean crap. Indie actually means a lot more than that, and it's not till somebody picks up an indie book and reads it and goes, holy fuck, this was better than blah 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 I read from James Patterson. You know what I mean? It's like, wow. Or you get compared to James Wan, and it's like, oh, what? Wow, that's fucking amazing. Okay, and it just grows your not only your self-confidence, but the ability to keep going. Because if everybody was trashing everybody's work in the indie films or in the
But
indie
people
realm,
do. There's this whole segment of
yeah,
people. I remember the shit I got on this. Like, was it the first year? All I was saying is, oh, here's horrific tales, the rated fiction segment. When I was posting them around various groups, oh, here's this writer, check it out. I used to get DMs. Like, lunatics would DM me, how dare you, indie writers are shit, how you're blah 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 blah. I'm like, you all right in the head? Like, if I don't like something, I tend to scroll past. I don't get that incensed and randomly angry that I'm going to attack someone.
I
Like, and actually DM
know.
them. I don't think I've ever DM'd anybody out of anger. Like, blah, blah, blah,
Neither.
blah, 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 blah. That's mental. Like, that is, like, you're unhinged if you do that. I've never
Yeah.
had the need
Yeah.
to, and you know me with, like, unsolicited DMs and stuff. I'm like, who the hell are you? I'm instantly red flags. I'm not about that.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to
No.
randomly approach other people either. An email or a social media, like if I talk to somebody online, it's a social media post, like a comment, and if that
Yep.
maybe goes into something, or if I put something out, and they respond via email, fair enough. But I'm never going to like randomly DM people, and I tend to find the people that do that, like they're empty, they're empty vessels.
They are.
They
Have
don't
no
create
purpose.
themselves. Like, once
That's
again,
right.
these people have put author in their name and they just
Yep.
spend their time in writing groups and if, what about isms and if buts and maybes, but they've no body of work.
No.
And it doesn't matter how you do it, what I mean? It's demonstrate you do stuff. They don't. But they're always
Well,
always
that's
critical.
right. They are. And I don't think it's fair to call yourself an author if you wrote a book 30 years ago and you haven't produced anything else since then, and you can go into a writing group and trash the shit out of all these new up-and-coming artists, writers coming up and, putting themselves out there. And then someone from 30 years ago who wrote a book 30 years ago has, still calling themselves an author, but yet
Riding on
they've
the
produced
accolades.
that's
But
right. And
that's
yeah.
like you're talking about my stuff, like that's in the ancient past, when I interview the
Oh,
Ringmaster's
yeah.
interview and Tales of Horror
Yep.
Madness and Surviving the Herd, I'm looking forward. That's if I was to sit and go, oh, I wrote these, blah blah blah, and just stayed there, like
Yeah.
I'm rather pathetic. And I'm almost forgotten because once again, I'm not focused on the past. I'm focused on what we're doing now
Yes.
and moving forward and my own work as well. And being better than what I was back then. It's the same as even the podcast. I'm always trying to think, okay, how can I be better? How can I
Yep.
improve this? And how can I vary the content so that
Yep.
it's not just repetitive, the same thing, and bring more people on board? And how can I get the promotion game better? Because that's something I'm terrible at. Is
Yep.
the promotion game.
All right.
But I mean, it doesn't
But
mean
you
I just
do it.
it doesn't mean you shy away from it just because I
That's
don't feel like
right.
I'm top of my game at it or it's not something I'm comfortable with. Doesn't mean that you get the shy away. You have to embrace it and go for it and get
Yep.
better at it.
But you're a very forward-moving, thinking person, which, if you're going to be in this game, you have to be, because you can't just sit there, write a book, and then just say that's your book for the rest of your life.
Mhm.
Yeah, okay, you did one book, yeah, but you've got to always think about, if you want to be have a career as an author, you're going to have to give a lot of your time away, but it comes back and rewards with thank yous and
Well, you give 6
accolades
years of your
and
life away to get here.
yeah. No, I didn't
No
give my life
instant.
away.
No,
I
do you know what I'm
loved it.
saying? No, but
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
I
Not
didn't
the
give
instant.
up.
No, it
Yeah,
wasn't click and collect. It wasn't the instant gratification of I wrote 3
no.
words, ching, money through the door. You know what I mean? It was 6 years to get to this point
Yeah, yeah,
and
absolutely.
making sure things
That's a
right.
long slog. Yeah, it's a long slog. Mm,
Talking to something you mentioned as well that you wanted to try something new with this
yep.
collection. Was that something you'd already built into your writing, or was it specifically for this collection that you wanted to change the tone or try a few different things? What was the thought
I
process?
wanted I so I didn't really want to produce all the kind of stories that I did with the last one, which was mostly paranormal, supernatural, cryptids, aliens, all that sort of stuff, which was fantastic. And I love the way you laid it out so that the stories were all in different places. So with this one, I was looking over my stories, and a lot of them that hadn't been published were quite vicious true crime type of genre. So I thought I might stick to that. So that's
Mhm.
why some of these are a little bit different than what other people have seen in my writing before, because usually I have a lot of paranormal stuff going on, but this one I
And you do
wanted
have a
to
bit of that
kind
in here too. You know, I mean, it's not
I
like
do. Yep.
it
Yep.
hasn't
There is
gone
some.
away. You know, I mean, you haven't
No,
completely
I've
abandoned.
what I've done is broadened my writing so that people can see not only can I write horror as in paranormal stuff and supernatural stuff, I can also write the horror of true crime, the horror of infidelity, the horror of, a transplant gone wrong,
Mhm.
those sorts of things. A fairy tale, there's a fairy tale one in there as well, which is a fairy tale horror. I just wanted something just a little bit slightly different, but still in the same niche, if you know what I mean. So yeah. So yeah. It's the process is like, you gotta, like, when you're putting an anthology together, it's like you gotta make sure that you're not all using first person every time. You've got to make sure you've got some third person stuff there, maybe a second person point of view, if you can do a second person point of view. So which is what I did with one of the stories in this one, which
Between
was
Two Worlds.
Attack of the Hearts first. So that
Mhm.
one was a infidelity story, and that just goes to show the horror of what can happen when you do things like that. Right,
Mhm.
the worst case scenario. That's where I go to in my writing is
Well, that's the
like
purpose of horror, isn't it?
yeah, but what I noticed with, like, the first book, was that there's too many happy endings.
Mhm.
So I wanted to ramp it up a bit and put a bit more not so good happy endings. You know what I mean? So
Mhm.
hopefully that translates, and that people who get both books will see that the first one's a bit more, uh it's horrific with it's a demonic type of tone in that one, and in this one it's more of a dreadful hopelessness, is what I was going for, especially with In Between Two Worlds.
Mhm.
So originally the title for that was Inside My Head, Inside the Ward, but then I changed the name because I was like, In Between Two Worlds sounds better, because the main character in there is kind of in between two worlds, and I wanted people to see the actual horror of having mental illness, and how bad it can get, especially if you've got something as bad as schizophrenia.
Mhm.
So that's what that whole story was about. And I don't know if people will like it. I don't know. It's a bit
I
different
enjoyed it. I
because
like the fact. I think I equated it to the likes of Bram Stoker's Dracula, that sort of style. You know, I mean, it's done through doctor's notes and recordings, and it's being played. Or
true,
Call of Cthulhu is um, similar thing. You know, it's not a straight prose. It's actually a fictional account, but it's using, for example, Bram Stoker's Dracula, letters, details of accounts, ship's logs. You know, that's how the story's told. Call of Cthulhu is the
true.
same thing. So that's what you've done here, just using the doctor's, observations and various witnesses of this patient.
Yeah, yeah, and I've redacted the name to make it look
Yeah, that was clever. I like that.
because that's what they do in your notes when they send them
Yeah,
back
if it
to
has to
you.
go to court or something, or has, I mean, it's
Yes,
yeah, freedom of information. You can get that, but because
that's
of data
right.
protection, that's the thing
Yep.
between the two is you don't get actual details of people. Um,
Yeah.
do you think there's too much of a? This is something I've always had an issue with in terms of. I don't think it helps people with mental health issues. This apologist culture where people think they join a social media group and they're cured because they find people with the same, oh, we've all got the same thing, we're okay. And people forget that there is the psychosis aspect, there's the danger that if you leave something
Yeah.
unchecked, if you have a compulsion or an issue, and if you don't get proper treatment, not
Yep.
likes and shares, I mean, that's addiction, that's dopamine hits,
Yep.
but actually don't get proper treatment. And if you mask, it's like living in denial.
Yes.
But
Delusions.
how many times have we seen that person? on social media has gone and done something like absolutely horrible
Yep.
because they've been left unchecked. But everyone, they look for validation
Yep.
as opposed to help. And help is sometimes the hard truth of, no, you can't be around people unless you have your medication because you're dangerous. For example,
Yes.
schizophrenia. If you don't take your
Yep.
medication, sorry, you have to stay in here because you can't be
Yep.
part of society and until you can be trusted. You know what I mean? And that's a real
Yep.
thing, but people tend to
It
want to
is.
gloss that over. And this weird, like, horror accepts reality. That's what I love about the genre.
Yes.
And that's something you've done here is you accept reality.
Yeah.
Where
Yeah.
there's this fairy tale notion people have now of living in a bubble. They never leave their rooms, which is
Oh, I
bad.
know.
They live off the device, be a phone, tablet, or a computer. That's how they see the world, and they don't go out and
Yep.
engage anymore, and that's not healthy.
That's actually probably an undiagnosed mental illness.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
what they'll
absolutely.
do instead of actually seeking help for that and learning how to deal with it and
They don't.
fight against it, what they do is
Yep.
they join a social media group. Oh, we're all the same thing. Ha ha ha! This is blah 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 blah
Yeah.
blah blah blah. And to me, as
And
we've
then,
seen
yep.
online, like that's where you get the trolls from. That's where you get the absolute
Yes.
just dangerous people who will dox you, will get you fired from your job, will get you cancelled because
Oh, yeah.
there's unhinged, there's untreated, unrecognized things going on there, and then because they're in an echo chamber with the same sort of people, it always comes out in a negative.
Yeah.
It always comes out in the most dangerous. I think were we talking about this shipping? You didn't know what it meant.
Yes, that's right.
Have
Yep.
you looked
I
that
know.
up since and some of the absolute like disgusting, crazy stuff
No, I haven't
that
yet.
people have done
No.
to break couples up, like nailing their cats to walls and stuff to get traumatized the other partner before they leave?
Oh, God, I know. People are crazy.
But
I'm
that's what this is all boiled down to. That instead of actually recognizing their problem, getting help, they've joined social media groups and they've just
Yes.
went around
It
to the
feeds
people.
it.
Yeah,
Yeah, it feeds their delusion because they don't know any better because they haven't got themselves out of their situation, or maybe the mental health system's not helping them the way
no,
that
but
because
they won't. You have to ask for help
physically
first.
going.
You
Yeah,
have
that's
to
right.
physically. You can't just sit. But in a social media group,
Yep.
that's the whole thing. And
Yeah.
you, like I
No.
said in this story, you cover that very well. You show the horror of by the time this person is in hospital, they're too far gone. They
They're
can't
too
be
far
helped.
gone.
They're too far. The damage is there. That's it.
Yep.
It's game
Yeah.
over, and we're just watching the sad decline of someone who, if they
Yeah.
were in society, didn't the nurse get hurt in this? It did. One of the nurses got hurt.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So
Yep.
that person can never going to be in society until the inevitable conclusion. Oh,
That's
sorry.
right.
There's Jeremy Coffey. Greetings.
Hey, dude. What's up? Good to see you, Jay. It's been
Yeah.
a while.
But that's definitely the reason I'm going on about this story as well is because that's definitely something you've stepped out of your comfort. You've went into a completely different format from your usual. Like
Yeah.
if you talk about different stories, that's it, and it's one that really stuck out.
Yeah. I have to admit that some of these stories are very personal and have happened to some people that I know. So I won't like I haven't mentioned any names or anything, but
Mm-hmm.
some of these are from my own experiences. I think that's what the difference is with these stories is some of them have eventuated from horror stories I've heard from friends, family, stuff that's happened to me, and I've integrated them in subtly so that nobody actually knows what's what's real and what's not real. Obviously, In Between Worlds isn't real, but some of it is, I have to
But
say.
is that
Some
not the
of it
whole
is.
point of you use your life
Yes,
experience?
you do. Yeah.
You have to be a creator, you have to
Everyone's
have
got a
life
story.
experience.
Yeah.
And this is the problem with mainstream entertainment now is the people that are in charge of creating don't have any life experience. They're
That's right.
19, 20, 21. They lived in a bubble. They they have no hardship whatsoever in their life. So therefore,
None.
and it translates so much onto their stories.
Oh, you can tell.
Yeah. God, we were talking about Wolf Creek. It's screaming at you that the people who wrote this have no clue.
Yeah.
Like they've never been in a car with no air conditioning.
No.
For example,
Exactly.
it's a silly thing, but if you've been in a car with no air conditioning in the summer, you're not going to do the stuff.
That's right. That's right. No lived experience.
Yeah.
No logic behind it. And I have to admit, I've read like mainstream anthologies and they sucked. So it actually, before I started writing, I was reading everything. I always read anyway. I started getting into some anthologies because I thought, it might be different to see some different, authors in one book sort of thing. So I did. I've read a few of them, and seriously, to tell you the truth, they all sucked. The mainstream anthologies were just ridiculous.
It's the editing.
It is. It's the format. It's the story compilate the way it's compiled together. It turned me off anthologies, and it wasn't until Wicked Shadow Press that I read some of their stuff that I was like, actually, I'd really love to feature in it. So that's why I started my journey into writing particular stories for anthologies, because I thought, well, that's another way for me to expand my, to learn, really, to learn the process of short stories. Because when I first started my course, I had no idea what a short story was, like, except for the anthologies I'd read. I had no idea how to write one. And it was my worst subject. I thought it was the worst subject ever. I hated it. Then by the end of it, I was like, oh my God, I can write a short story in 5,000 words. Who would have known? Because I was so used to writing manuscripts and, novels or novel ideas, and then to have a short story, I mean, the intricate details you have to do to make sure that short story works is another thing that you have to, when you're writing short stories, like obviously what it's like, and
You have
it's
to, you have a
different.
short amount of time. You have to grip the audience. You have to tie the thing up.
Yep.
And it has to be compelling and it has to stand out. It's all those things. It's pressure. It's a pressure
Yes,
cooker. And
it is.
also we've seen you read the ones that aren't like, God, I finally got to give it away, but that the worst anthology collection ever, Terror in the Trench. It was just awful. It was hard work reading. It was just painful. And you could just tell these people have never written a
Exactly.
story in their life and they're just, I've read
That's what it is.
anthologies like that.
Painful.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, and you don't want to read the next story because it's like, oh, is it going to be as bad as that one? And then they are all as bad as each other. There's like not even one sticks out. So I was turned off actually by anthologies and short story. I was like, I'm never going to write a short story. Nah, stuff that. That's just too much. It doesn't work. Doesn't work. They're not good enough. And then lo and behold, here come the indie world.
But it's not that the whole,
know?
it's easy to be, and is this not a thing where people like maybe it's an experience or something? It's
Yeah.
easy to write things off. Like I've
Yes.
talked to you about my journey with true crime. I had an issue with true crime.
Yes,
And it was
that's right.
from a falsehood. You know what I mean? I thought people that like true crimes were the idiots that wrote the serial killers in jail.
Yeah, no.
But and I don't know where that came from.
Yeah. Well, you don't, do you? It's just a thing
I
in
have
your
no
head.
idea where that came from, but that stuck with me for years. And it's
Wow,
only
I'm
in the
glad you
last
let
3
go of it.
years. No, but
Yeah.
it exists. We all have, you know what I mean? It's somewhere along the line, you get
Yes.
an idea in your head, you don't know where it's come from. And if you're always on the go, always absorbing information, that's the worst thing about me is I absorb, I hold. I don't let go.
Yeah.
So something from 15 years ago is still in here, rattling about.
Oh,
An
dear.
experience or an event. That's the worst thing about my brain. At
Oh, I
all.
think everyone's a bit like that.
No, there's
So
people that
that's all right.
special forces guys are really good at it. They just cut There you go. Right, that was 5 minutes ago.
Yeah.
This is now, and Megan actually cut it off. There's people like that can
I
not hold
think you
on
have
to
to be
anything.
trained. You have to be
No, it has to
trained
be.
that
No, the
way,
more
though.
if I've seen
Yeah.
these interviews and talk to these guys, that's just their personality. Before you know what I mean, it could be some skills are latent, some personalities lead just to a certain path in life. If that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's one thing, is this ability to be able to let go and just move on. But then again,
Yep.
I think part of my creative journey is having all this stuff continually in here, and it melds, and that's where my ideas come from. Is the fact that I don't forget certain things. Names, faces, yes, terrible.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If you don't tell me your name 20 times, unless I'm speaking a lot, it's never gone in there, if that makes sense.
Yeah, fair enough.
But experiences,
Yeah.
like even stuff from childhood, is still in here. It just randomly pops up. But then that's where I get ideas for stories, and it doesn't have to be that. Like, that event might be warped, into something else, but
Yeah.
it's not. I'm never going to recount an exact event.
No, exactly.
But through life and experience of taking it all in and being a sponge, it's it just means you've always got something to go on and something to work with.
Yes, absolutely. Like I've said before, everybody's got a story to tell. There's something that's always inside, not that I'm saying everyone is an author, but what I'm trying to say is that everyone can have the ability to create. Hey, Flea! Volume 2, yeah. Congratulations, us. I don't even know what I was saying now. But invisible hosts.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I call those things in the back of your mind that are like, me with a short story thing. Oh, I'm never going to write a short story. And then when you let shit like that go and actually give it a try, it's like, oh, actually, I've learned something. I know how to write a short story. Well, I'm kind of know how to write a short story. So what I ended up doing was sending in short stories every week to Read Seed Writing, whatever it is, who ended up publishing like 40 of my stories in 1 year. Mm-hmm. And when I got my first story accepted, I was just like, is this real? Is this real? Is this a joke? It was just kind of like, really? Somebody likes my short stories? And it was actually a real event that happened with me and snakes, and bringing snake skins back here to New Zealand, and they put it in a fumigation building, and some drongo opened the window, and you know how intricate and lacy and fine shedded skin is from a snake.
Yeah, and to try and get a full shed is near impossible.
I got 2 full sheds, beautiful. From Australia, when I held these 2 pythons, I got these sheds. And what happened? They flew out the window and they ended up in the botanical gardens across the road. So there was this big, huge thing in Wellington on the news. Oh my God, there's pythons in botanical gardens. Because we've just found 2 skins, but we can't find the snakes. So they had to close the botanical gardens down until they could find the snakes. So that was my first short story. Snakes in the garden. I called it.
It's a carpet python. Is
native
to Australia.
No. Yeah,
they're beautiful looking snakes.
They are, and they're so silky. You would think that they feel like scaly, but when I held it, it was just like, oh my God, they're so silky. And you can actually break a snake, and I think that's really sad. So you have to be really careful.
Oh yeah,
but yeah, I thought
it's like
that
a tarantula.
funny.
If you have to be super careful when you're holding a tarantula, because if you drop it, that's
they
it.
got hairs and
it's gone.
You break them.
I mean, you have to be like.
Yeah.
It makes me laugh that people are terrified of them when all you have to do is flick and the thing's gone. You know what I mean? You're a big, huge, hulking thing that could squash at, and yet you're terrified of it just because it has mechanisms to defend itself.
Yeah, exactly.
But then again, I think that's what makes horror creators different, isn't it?
Well, yeah, we can pull a story out of anywhere, you know?
Irrational fear. It's not
Yes.
succumbing to it, it's understanding it and using it.
Yeah, like, okay, so Benjamin, when we first met, he was terrified of spiders, like literally terrified of them. So we sat outside one day and I put a little spider in his hand just to see how he'd react. And from then on, he was never afraid of spiders again. So it's an irrational thought that's brought on by your parents in childhood when they go, it's a spider, it's a rat. That's because your parents taught you, to be scared of things like that. And in actual fact, if you go and put yourself out there and go and pick up a little spider, you can be friends with a little spider. Go to a snake trainer and go and ask for a cuddle with a python. Just, I don't know. It's just people are silly. They don't know that you can actually change the way you think and all that childhood stuff. So I don't know. The beauty about this is that we can write about it and turn it into a story and get it published, or maybe not. That's where the short story journey began, I suppose, was just from my own little experiences, and then it just took off. Yeah.
But once again, you need to actually live life.
Yeah.
I think that's the step people always ask, don't they? How do I start writing? How do I do this? How do I do that? And first thing is you have to live life. You can't do it from your basement on your phone. You have to get out there. You have to be part of the world.
You have to be.
You
have
can't
to go out there
hiding behind a fake avatar on your social media account. You got to get out there.
No. I wrote a story about teenagers, right? And I actually had forgotten how teenagers spoke. So I got on the school bus one day so I could listen to them and hear how they spoke to each other behind me. And it was very, very eye-opener, I can say. But that helped me with the dialogue in my story between the teenagers. So, it's like so it's just doing things like that, going out there. And if you want to write about police procedures or whatever, go to the police station and ask to speak to one of the police. So you might even get to go in an observation car for the night, and go around and observe what the police do. There's just you can read and read and read and then try and write a story from what you've read. That's not going to work. Or like you said, sitting in your basement's not going to work either. You actually physically have to go out there and put yourself out there if you're going to do something like that. You have to learn. If you want to learn, you need to go out.
Yeah.
Put yourself out there.
Do you think that's a problem? Now, I know it's not the case because obviously I know some younger authors are just absolutely smashing it at the moment, but the ones that are out living life, they're, doing different things and not just sitting at home. But is there something about being a bit older and having been around the block a bit in life, and actually doing things that makes the transition? Is that why a lot of authors, like in my
older
20s,
authors?
In my 20s, I wasn't thinking about writing. I like stories I read,
nope.
But at the same time, I was never in. I was up hills. I was out in the town. I was blah blah blah, here, there, and everywhere. Working and doing various things. But late 30s, that's when I sort of got the idea. I want to create something. I want to put something down. But is there something to be said about that? That
absolutely,
you need to go live life maybe first a bit. There's a lot of people just want to be a writer and that's it. From 16, 17, it's been a hobby. And then they wonder why they fall short.
Yes. So I've done lots of jobs in my life, I have to say, and I only really I've always written whether or not it's documents or office management or reception at hotel receptions. I've always had to do all the sorts of writing stuff and all that. So, but I when I was younger, I used to love writing stories, but then as life goes on, you drop those childhood dreams, and I think that's what happened. I had to put that aside for life, right? But then it was about 2017 that I started thinking, I actually don't want to be working for anyone else ever again. I don't want to be told what hours. I have a mental illness, so I'm unreliable when it comes to a full-time job now. When, I got hit with postpartum psychosis when I was 30, but right from 15 upwards, from there, I worked 7 days a week, hard slog, 7 days a week, for 12 years. And then I got mentally sick, unwell, and then my life goals changed. I started, doing other things. But then when in 2017, there was like a moment where I was like, actually, because I was looking for a job at that stage, and I'm like, I don't want to be working with the mentally ill anymore. I don't want to be working in social work anymore. I don't want other people's problems on my back. I want to sort out a life career, if you know what I mean. Something I can do when I'm past
That's why I left the
retirement.
corporate world.
That's right. That's what I did too. And that's because I just couldn't stand it. I couldn't stand the hours. I couldn't stand the people. I don't want to be looking after people anymore when I can't look after myself. It was just like, what am I going to do? So, yeah, writing just came into it, and it was a natural progression because I had all these life stories in my head, from even, when I was kidnapped in Australia and all those things. It's just like, they're terrible things to happen. Even my mental illness is a terrible thing to happen, but it's a learning journey. The mental illness changed me into a different person than what I was before then. I was all over the place.
But is that not the thing of not letting things? Is this not the whole point of creativity as well? It's a catharsis.
It is.
It's a
I
mechanism.
don't care what people say. It is.
Now, once again, there's the other side of the coin where people use it. I've got this, so I'm going to write to get out and not get treatment. And you see a lot of those people in the writing circles.
Yes. Oh,
and
God.
they're, once again, they're the most toxic people you come across because they want validated and they want to use mental health as a shield to not take any responsibility, or you can't critically review my work because I'm untouchable. And they just, I think the sour of the well, with the sour of the milk. It's just the poison of the well, sour of the milk. That's the
term that's it.
And it's part of the reason why indie publishers and writers get a bad name is because these people tend to be very loud, and usually the first encounter someone has is someone like that who's just using it like a stick of plaster. Don't have lived experience, but they also don't want to deal with things, and they're not using the creativity in a healthy way. There's different ways to use creativity, but it's not the be all and end all. It's a tool, but you got to have that moment of understanding what's going on. And anyone that's been around a bit is going to have. You don't get through life without knocks and bumps and bruises. You know what I mean?
Yes.
That's exactly what life does. It's not easy.
Yeah.
But you don't dwell on it. You don't let it own you. You own it. And I think a lot of people do the opposite. They let it own them, and
they do.
It's a way to absolve themselves of responsibility, and then it comes through in their creativity because their creativity's tainted.
Yeah.
And I'm a victim. It just screams at you. I'm a victim. I'm so hard done by. Blah blah blah. And it's not nice to read.
No, it's not. No. I'm slogging through a book at the moment called My Little Life, and it's like 800 pages. It's not. It's a mainstream book. It's just one I've got out, and it's just so depressing. It's such a depressing story.
Actually, yesterday I just finished Cogs in the Neon Globe by Anthony M. Carroll. It's an anthology, but it's more like, I would say it's more like Sin City and Blade Runner.
Wow.
So there are 5 stories in the same universe, but sometimes the characters cross over. But it's not, it's just an experience of the Neon Globe, this city, that's futuristic cyberpunk,
Oh.
And it took me, because once again, because I've been in the anthology zone, and it took me a bit by surprise because it's a different format. It's a different form of storytelling. And I like Tony's work because obviously he's been in every anthology to date and been on the channel loads of times.
And he's an amazing writer. Oh my God.
But this was different. So once again, he's demonstrating how you can shake things up. You can use the anthology template
Yes.
but
And
you don't have
mix
to stick
it
to the
to
rules of the anthologies. As long as
no.
the stories are good and it's always compelling.
Yep.
I need to go back and read it because there's one of the characters, Cal. I have to read about it again to see, because I could have sworn he survived the end of his story. And then there's a bit at the end. I'm like, no, that's not Cal he's talking about. So I need to go back and actually reread the first couple of chapters because
Oh.
to find out what happened to that character before I start asking questions, so I don't look completely
Yeah.
stupid. So I'm like, hold on. But I was starting to get invested. There's Freddy and there's Johnny, two main characters here, and sort of going, oh, there's Johnny back, and you like Sin City, we see one of the stories of the characters crossing over, like what do you
Yes.
call her?
Brilliant.
The bar scene where Mickey Rourke's character walks across and Jessica Alba's dancing and he's just there,
Oh,
but it's
yes.
not his story anymore. He's just sitting in the bar, and then it
Yep.
carries on to another story.
With another character.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the way he's written this,
Yep.
and it's very, but
Brilliant. Different.
it's different, yeah, and still compelling in its own way. But it
Yeah.
shook me a bit because I've been so in the anthology,
Anthology
mindset,
zone. Yeah.
which is once again that's something I had to break out of. Is
Yeah.
I'm in the zone with these, but I need to experience other things to
Yes.
make sure that I'm fresh and make sure I'm still,
Yep.
Do my bit, because that's the
Yep.
worst thing is to become that. No point me complaining about Hollywood or institutions like that being creatively bankrupt if I'm going to fall victim to the same thing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Was
But
that part of the reason for, like I said, is that part of the reason as well? Did you sort of have that in the back of your mind with this anthology? Of I'm not going to fall into a pattern. I'm not going to just stick to the comfort zone.
yes, that's exactly what I had in my mind. That's why I put some of the stories in there that are probably not going to be everyone's cup of tea. Some people might think that they might be being a bit mean. But at the end of the day, it's just to show that, I don't know, that I suppose because I've got a huge world view and I've got a lot of different experiences in my life that I don't know. I guess I wanted to translate that across into these that true crime can be horror.
Mhm.
And not involve serial killers. It can be your neighbor, it can be your family member, things like that.
Well, actually, there's one. I don't know if it's so much true crime, but oh my god, what is it? The car crash one.
Stolen love.
Stolen love. Flip's sake.
Yep, that's right.
Nobody gets killed in that one. Nobody gets maimed or butchered.
No, not in that
But
one. No,
God, that's a rough story when you think about it.
it's a terrible way. Yeah.
I mean, and once again, it's not. I don't like, as you know, I'm not afraid of gore. I'm not afraid of
No, of course not.
dismemberment. But I don't go into gratuitous violence for the sake of it. It has to be
Yep.
part of the story. And that one, Stolen Love, there's no gratuitous violence. There's
No.
nobody gets killed. However, the story itself
It's
is
quite gripping.
quite grim,
yeah.
quite callous.
Yeah.
And it's happened. I mean,
Yeah.
that's something you can read in the news and it's happened. I
Yep.
mean, there's loads of cases of things that got happening, and it's just like,
Yes.
you always go, why? That's reading the story.
Yeah.
I'm like, what the hell's going through your head?
What, while I'm writing it?
No, the people, the characters.
Oh, the actual characters.
Yeah.
Oh, I know. Yeah.
And when you get more
I
than one, and this is back to the not seeking treatment but finding validation, there's more than one person involved.
yeah.
And that's a case of we've got the same
Yeah.
issues. We're not going to deal with it, but what we're going to do is indulge it. And that's where other people get hurt.
Yeah.
I'm trying to avoid spoilers here, folks, because you need to buy this.
Yeah. Yeah,
and read it.
exactly.
I'm being deliberately
Yeah.
vague.
Yeah, no, that was an idea that just popped into my head. What would happen, because that's how my ideas come around. Is I'll just be sitting there and something might pop into my head, or someone might be talking about something, and my brain automatically goes, fuck, that would make a great story, and so I might, have a concept, but once I start writing it, and my brain, I can't stop. I just keep going, going, going. It might be 5,000 words later, and then I have to cull it back. But it's just like, oh my God, and so the writing of it is really the easy bit. It's the revision that's the
Editing's
that's
horrible.
yeah, I know, because you have to go over and you get so precious about every single word you put in there. It's like, oh, I don't want to cut this bit out, but it's gonna have to go because it doesn't make sense. Or can I put it somewhere else? And especially the one with stolen love, I just thought, what would happen if that scenario happened? What a terrible thing to happen, and to find out, and all that sort of stuff, and I could have messed up the ending, but then I thought, because you also, you don't want to fall into the trap where you want to have every single story a bad ending.
No, because you said what you wanted to switch up for the first one was everyone felt like it had a happy ending.
Yeah.
The worst thing to do is then go the opposite direction. Everything is bleak and grim. You need a mix.
Yes.
That's because we all don't watch the same stories, or watch the same films or read the same books. We want to read different ones and get, that's what I hate about mainstream creators. That worked. Let's do that 50 times so everyone's sick
Do
to
it
death
again
of it.
and again and again. That's right.
Yeah. And then that becomes the format. And then once again, if you're trying to get published, if you don't fit into that particular zeitgeist, if your writing isn't in that zone at that time, it might be 5 years before you get another shot with your style of writing.
Yeah.
And you have two options. You either become this blob, grey, beige blob that doesn't stand for anything, doesn't have a voice.
Yeah.
You just go with the flow. And I've seen people do that in fair play. If they're happy with that and they're only interested in fame or whatever, then fair enough. But most of the writers, like yourself, that I've dealt with, have a distinct voice. And if something they want to, they have a particular thing they want to put out there and a story they want to tell, and you can see that, and I appreciate it.
Yeah. Yeah. I do have a certain style, don't I? Like, it's you can, yeah. And I don't want to change that. So I try and not keep to that same format, but broaden my writing, if you know what I mean. So I think what happened with Reed Seed was, the good thing was they gave prompts, and so you can pick 5 prompts, right? So I'd pick a prompt, and which is great way to start writing. If you just want to write and you've got no idea, go online and find a prompt, and that will go bing. Just like your anthologies, you go, right, serial killers, hauntings. Let's have one about cryptids, and that's a prompt to me. That's a prompt that says, oh, I'm going to write a story about blah, 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 blah. See, here's my serial killer one, but I'm not going to do a normal serial killer one. I'm going to do a really random, strange one,
But it still fits, you know what I mean? Because
it still fits.
I give the premise, but that's it.
That's
one thing I've found strange is people have got in touch. How exactly do you want this story? I'm like, I may as well just write it myself. Do you know what I mean? If I want every story to be exact certain way, I may as well just write myself.
Just tell them just write. Oh my goodness.
I don't know. Maybe it's the way my brain works, but I think that's enough, is to get into the zone of a story, and then to me, I'll deliberate. I'll have an idea and I'll sort of poke at it, and before I even put pen to paper, so to speak, I'll poke and poke and poke, and if I feel like it's going somewhere, that's what I go down with. If it's not, and I'm twisting myself and I'm not feeling the flow, I
push delete.
That's it, out the window.
Yeah, when something's going to work and when it's
I
not.
deleted 3 novels. I had a dark fantasy series.
Are they gone for good?
Yep.
Why?
It just wasn't working. And then I was looking at the research and stuff, and then the magic system and all and everything. I was just
did
getting,
you
and I'm just
not
like,
watch my writing tips? Never delete anything,
no,
because
I was,
again,
because
5
that's the
years
problem.
from now,
Yeah.
someone will go, "Oh, I wanted to dark set, blah 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 blah," and you're like, "Oh yeah, oh no, I deleted them."
No, I need to, because if I don't, that stays and I'll keep poking at it,
Oh.
and I can't move on. It's there. If it's gone, I can move forward. Once again, I've one direction. And if something's holding me back, then it has to go. All right, I can't. And I've been poking at this thing and messing about. And like I said, it's the first three, like there weren't 3 full novels, like there were 3 bare bones. But I
Yeah.
had it split in the trilogy. I had it. This is what I was working on, and it just wasn't working.
Wow.
It was coming across really contrived, and
Fair enough.
I wasn't getting the tone I wanted. I was coming across,
Oh,
once again, when I
okay.
talk about the gratuitous violence and for the sake of it, I felt like I was forcing it in.
Yes. Okay.
Does that
Yep.
make sense?
Yep.
And I wasn't
Yep.
getting, I was
Absolutely.
losing it there. And then the other way was, when I was pulling that out, it was going very wishy-washy, and I couldn't find the balance of the way I wanted
Oh.
this story. I had all the, like I said, the 3 parts of the trilogy all done. I had exactly where it ended. I had the end scene, I had the opening scene, I had the end of each novel. So the bit where, like, the cliffhanger before, like, volume 1,
The
the volume,
next. Yep.
I had that
Yep.
all done, and I was trying to do the rest, and it
Wow.
just was not working. That's why I was like,
Wow.
when we own stuff, there was like this whole like block where nothing was coming out, because this is what I was working on, and I didn't want to release just the one without having the 3 finished, because that's the worst thing you do if you've got a series. Is
Oh. Right.
you don't call, no, my name's Colin Martin, not George R.R. Martin. If I'm going to start
Right.
something, I'm going to finish it.
Yep. 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 Yep.
And
No. Okay. That makes sense.
it
But
just,
see, that's you knowing your personality. See, you knowing what you can do, what you should do, what you shouldn't do.
that was a year and a half I spent in that.
Wow.
That was a year and a half I spent in that, and then I just went, no.
Wow.
Because
Wow.
I could have,
Wasn't meant to be.
yeah, because I could have, for the sake of putting something out, I could have done it. But
Yep.
once again, quality
Yep.
over quantity.
That's right. That's right.
You know what I mean? It was just, it wasn't working. I wasn't happy reading it. I wasn't happy working on it. I got to that point where, yes, I had the idea for him, but it just was not happening.
Yeah.
And yeah, I just went, nah, delete. So there's 3 books I could have had out, but I'm happier for not doing it.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
it would not have been up to par.
Yeah.
It wasn't working.
And that's not what you want to leave behind.
No, no, no.
A trail of terrible books.
Just stuff thrown out there for the sake of it. Even it's the same with this. You know what I mean? I don't want to do the clickbaity shit. I don't want to do crap. When I come on here, we know what we're going to talk about. We've got the purpose. The stream, it means something. It's not a slog to do it. I'm not just doing it for the sake of it.
No, God, no. No.
And I think that's important. I think you understand that. Like, it really comes across in this, that you understand that, and you weren't going to just settle.
No, God,
I
no.
like the fact that you're not prepared to just settle into, like, if I had got volume 1, like the next, like, volume 1 extended, would have been having a different conversation, if that makes sense.
Yeah, we would be. Yeah, because and also, it shows the extent of Shaya. Hi. Thank you, buddy.
Yeah, but you're a hoarder, Flea. So yeah, that's something else. You need to get help for
that. Thank you. No, don't listen to Colin. Don't throw anything away. He just needed to do that. That's what some people do need to do. I've seen people
feel that year and a half is wasted.
You feel like it was?
I don't. No.
Good. No, because you learnt something from it. You learnt that quality is more important than quantity. So, and you're not going to play to an audience. You're not writing stuff like that. For this one, I could have written for the audience and had made the done this and done that in a different way. And I'm sure other people will read, my story, and as you do with other stories, you read them and you go, oh, I was expecting a different ending, I was expecting this to happen. So when you shake it up a bit and you don't give them what they want, it's also a nice shock or a nice surprise, I suppose. And yeah, like you said, I didn't want this to be an extension, because it could have been an extension of the first one, without a doubt. I could have just put all the same kind of stuff in there, and not because I was I was a little bit worried about sending some of them to you, because I was like, oh, I haven't put these in any books. Like, I've never published. I mean, it was on Readseed, obviously. That's where I first came up with some of these ideas. Not all of them, but some of them. And, it's like, I was wondering whether or not these would fit and how it was going to come together. But then when you sent it back to me and showed me the order and all that sort of stuff, it was like, oh my God, no, that's perfect.
That was a strange thing, wasn't it? That was something else within in the background. It's like, what order do these stories go into? It wasn't just picked them out of the hat. That's another conscious decision. Even with volume 1, there's another conscious decision of, right, these go in this order, so we're not getting just repeated, 5 paranormal stories, 1 possession, blah blah blah. It's it's
you have to
with each one.
Yes, you have to do it. Yeah. I mean, that's important. It's an important part of the process, without a doubt, because I did notice, I did make a bit of a boo-boo. I did use the same name in 2 stories accidentally. And unfortunately, I don't know why that happened. I don't know what the hell. Some names, when it comes to choosing names for characters, what's your process? You struggle?
I struggle. I leave nameless character 1, nameless character 2, write the story, and then think about names afterwards.
Yeah.
Names are not important.
No. They are to me when you accidentally use the same name, in 3 different stories, which I nearly did in this one. No, it only happened in 2 of them, but that's okay. That it's just things like that.
And also each one's different. I didn't.
Oh yeah.
Once again, I didn't get a sense of Once again, it's not about.
No.
If it feels repetitive, once again, we would have that conversation.
Yeah. Like, I'm sure you would have picked up and got, if it was a problem, but it wasn't, because when I read over it.
See, that's the approach I take with editing as well. I'm not. I see people are trying to be very scientific or very analytical. I come from a data, I come from a data analyst background. I've done that. I know how to put things in boxes and spreadsheets and extract and join this system and that system and put it all. I did that for 20 odd years. I know that the nth degree.
Yeah.
That's not what this is about.
No.
Yes, there's structure. Yes, we know how a sentence works. We know how a paragraph works. We know how a short story works, right? But that's not the important thing. The important thing is when you're reading them, you have to, like, I go into my mind of a reader,
visualizing.
Am I on board with the characters? Am I on board with the story? Right?
Yep.
Stop. Next one. Am I getting something different?
Yep.
It's not just a repeat, And I didn't get a sense in this.
No, not at all.
Because once again, we've been working together for years. We can talk to each other.
Yep.
You know where I'm coming from. It's not to put you down or be against you. It's so we can get the best thing possible, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
and if you edit the work, who gives a shit? It's just like, oh my God, dude. Because when you send things to a publisher, the publisher edits it, okay? So, I just. There's no strict format, so I don't know why people go on and on. And okay, so maybe all right, okay. When you first started doing these, I was like, No, you have to do it this way. You have to do it that way. Remember, I was like, you have to use shun formatting. You have to use this and that. And then you're like, but I don't want to do that. I want to do my own way. And I'm like, oh my God, I was so stuck in my programming from creative writing course that I thought that's all there was, right? So
But that's the
it's
same
not
with
till you
YouTube as
spend,
well.
yeah,
If you look at the YouTube creators courses and so forth, everyone's like, and then you see about 100 creators are all exactly the same. You can't tell the difference
that's right.
because they're
That's
all
right.
best ones are reaction videos.
Yep.
If you want to see an example of factory produced content, look at a bunch of reaction videos of the same. Because first of all, it's the same 5
Yeah.
videos that they all react to because of the top
Yep.
trending ones. If it's music videos, it'll be the same 5 songs.
Yep.
They all wow
right.
at the same point. They all laugh at the same point. They all gasp at the same point. Like it's off a production line.
Yes, it is. And you can tell.
No, I don't disparage if somebody feels like they need to go on a course. Fair enough, if that helps. But it's the same as any schooling.
Yeah.
You can learn the theory,
Yep.
but the theory is not the art. It's like learning to drive. You can get the driving manual out and be like, oh, I know how to drive now. And you'll crash into the first lamppost.
You're right.
Funny enough, an example of that there is I got my driving license. The next week, I had to go on a course.
Yeah.
Which meant going to the airport, picking up a hire car, and fucking traveling the length of England with a road atlas. Well, it was pre-GPS.
Oh my God.
I'm just baby, got my driving license. Like and the first time I'm out the road is having to travel. And that's especially I come from a small Northern Ireland's a tiny country, so we got 3 official motorways, 2 lanes.
Oh my God.
You went to the West Midlands in England and you straight out of an airport. First of all, if you've never been in an airport car park, and it does a mess about East Midlands airports and gnarly airport anyway, but you're out there on a 4-lane motorway. And you can get from that lane to the cross like a week after I got my driving license.
That's oh my God.
That's the difference between, in theory, I can drive the the reality of it. And I always take that same approach. Yes.
Yep.
Take a course. Like, how many videos are there? How to be a YouTuber? How to create a YouTube video?
Oh, I know exactly.
How many people watch those and never create a video? Never get over that hurdle of doing their first video?
Yeah, true. That's right.
And they get hung up on all the if, buts, and maybes and how to upload and how to do this and how to do that.
Yep.
Where
that's right.
What have I ever said to people? Have something you can talk about for an hour. Just something you can happily talk about. If you can't, you're not gonna last.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you're not passionate about a subject, if you can't talk about it, then
it's
then
no one's going to be interested.
You can do all the courses in the world, but it doesn't mean anything.
Yeah, that's right.
You have to. I think it's the same with writing. You have to have that story. You have to want to tell stories. You have to.
You got to have a passion for it.
Yeah.
You got to have a passion for it, and you got to, just know that you can just do it. Just write and see what happens.
You can always learn. You can always pause. You can always improve.
That's
Nobody's saying that, but don't rely on. I've been on a course. That's everything I need to know.
Yeah, exactly.
Or it's the only way.
And the only reason I did the course was to learn how to self-edit. And then next minute I'm learning how to write children's stories and poems and scripts and blimmin' all these things. And it's like, wow, what an eye-opener. But I'm glad I went because it taught me how to review, which is and then when you came along and you're like, why don't you pop on and do some reviews? It's like, well, okay, I know some things about reviews from my course, but not much. It's when you actually get in the field and you start working it and you start doing things from your course, you'll learn that that's not all there is to know. There's a way more thing than that. But what I love about it was it took me out of my wanting to just be an author and that's all I wanted to be. It's opened up other pathways for me, like reviewing for
Mhm.
one. I would never have even thought about that if it wasn't for the course on how to actually give a book review. That you've got to give the positive, then a negative, then a positive, that sort of structure. And that helped me with my reviews, and then jumping onto your channel and doing reviews with you has like opened my game a trillion times bigger than what it was. So it depends what courses you do and what you get out of it at the end of the day. You should never stick to whatever they say. I know that now. But that was 6 years ago, so I've learned a lot since then.
But once again, is that not you not being passive, being
Yes,
proactive, and
absolutely.
actually, once again, engaging?
Yep,
People I
yep,
see have trouble doing this or getting over that first hurdles. They won't just engage, they won't sit down and do the work, or they won't do that first video, or they won't just, it doesn't matter if it's good, bad, whatever. You do it,
to
then you have
get over
something to
the
work off.
hurdle.
Yeah, get over the
Yeah,
hurdle, and then you have something to work on.
yep, exactly. That's important for horror creators in general, because horror's a hard genre. It's a rough ride, because there's lots of, I don't know, lots of people that are totally against horror. So, we
Yeah,
have
it's
to put
hard
up with
to.
those. Yeah,
You're not just going to be in the bookshelves. You're not going to be in the
no,
supermarket. You're not going to be in the airport bookshop.
yeah,
People are going to thumb their
think for,
nose down at you.
yep,
If
yep.
you wrote romance, you'd have
And,
sold 100,000 copies
oh,
by now. You
yeah,
know what I mean?
yeah, exactly, exactly. So I think that's the thing is you've got to find your niche. Like I've seen other authors that are writing children's stories, young adults and adults as well. And I'm just like, okay, not too sure about that. I think you've got to just grab your niche, know that you're good at it, you're at the top of your game, and just do it. You know what I mean? So, I mean, I could write a children's story. Yeah, sweet as whatever. But is that what I want to be doing?
Yeah,
No.
that's the thing. You can maybe do that as an off, as a side project now and again.
Yeah.
I
But
always have concerns about people that write all things for all people. Not everybody can do it.
yes,
Um,
yes. No, not everyone can do it. No. And not everybody succeeds at what they're
mhm.
doing either, with that particular
For the one successful
problem.
person, you have 100 just
Yeah.
failures. Basically, there's no, once again, there's no desire. My desire is to tell
Yeah.
dark stories. My desire is to
Yes.
cross that line.
Yep. That's right.
That's the stuff I like to watch. That's the stuff I like to read. That's the stuff I like to experience.
Yep.
I used to love fantasy. I've fallen out of it
Yep.
because of the way it's went. It's just very
I fell
generic,
out of it
repetitive.
too. Yep.
Sci-fi, same thing.
Yep.
Action
Absolutely.
movies, I watched them, but I never really.
Enjoyed them.
No, I just watched them for the sake of it. But
Yeah.
like, you couldn't.
Yeah.
I don't know how many action movies. I haven't watched action movies in flipping
God.
decades. I just no
Yeah.
interest in the genre. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Rom-coms, zero interest.
Yeah.
Comedies,
Oh yeah.
very,
Blah.
really no interest. You know what I mean? There's loads of stuff out there. So I couldn't sit down and write a comedy. No interest. You know what I mean? I've
No.
no desire to do
Yeah.
that. I'm
No.
not gonna write a spy thriller thing. I've no
No.
interest in that show. I don't like those stories. That makes
Neither.
sense.
Yeah. No.
And that would
Neither.
probably be more lucrative if I was to write spy thrillers and or military
Yep.
dramas or something. Probably get more
Yeah.
readers, etc. Think life would be the
But
path of least resistance, but
yep.
I wouldn't be
But
happy.
there's no passion in it, is there? You
No.
don't have a passion for it. So why would you? Yeah. Exactly.
Well, that's the difference. Horror's taken crossing that
Yes.
line, and that's when it becomes you mean you can make anything into horror. So I think, and that's what I'm demonstrating with horrific tales, that you can take anything and make it. You can have sci-fi horror, fantasy horror. Fantasy horror is the hardest one though. That's what I was trying with those 3 books, and yeah,
Yep.
um,
Yep.
couldn't get it to work. Just like I said, it just wasn't happening. But you can
Yep.
do it. Dark fantasy is a thing.
Yep.
Actually,
True crime.
the current works I'm doing is dark fantasy. I'm not really sure, but you know what I mean. That's where I'm going. But it's got more of the horror bent to it, so I'm happy writing it.
That's good.
Yeah. Military. There's military horror movies. One of the darkest military horror movies, if you've ever seen it, is The Outpost.
No.
That is.
I think the worst I watched was.
It's basically this team of mercenaries are sent to retrieve something from an old World War II bunker. And
why does it sound familiar?
It's where Nazi experiments happen. And it's the only one close to that, but it's Cheesy's Death Ship. It's the same sort of vein, but Death Ship is cheesy because it went into the ludicrous, where if you want gripping, watch The Outpost. Still, some of the imagery in that, and without spoilers, but there's some of the imagery in that.
Yep.
To me, it's brilliant.
Wow.
Is that World War? No, it's not modern day. It's modern day.
Wow.
It's the 20th century, but it's a World War II bunker that's going to retrieve something from. Where Nazi experiments were held.
All the experiment. Oh God!
And that's what I say about it, because you need to watch that movie. It's brilliant.
Wow!
And that's an example of military horror.
Military horror. Hamburger Hill. Have you seen that? Oh my God! Bloody brilliant. I love Vietnam movies. I don't know why. Vietnam War movies.
Apocalypse Now would be the closest I would say to like a Vietnam horror. We're at
Apocalypse Now. Yep, probably.
Marlon Brando and Charlie Sheen.
Yep. Platoon.
Not as much.
Pretty horrific.
Apocalypse Now, I'd say, it's closer to horror.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean,
because it's the way that, you're talking about unbending minds, cults being formed, and also the fact that because it got away, that the actual rituals put in where the natives are sacrificing animals and stuff, which didn't help. Just
great film. Sort of
crosses the line, and it's something that rattles about in your head. I haven't watched that in years though. But,
me neither. But
that's the closest of a mainstream that took that genre into horror.
Yep. Yeah. That's a good thing about horror. Is the subgenres. It's freaking amazing.
Well, I think horror is a storytelling mechanism. It's that line. I think we've talked about this. Where's that line? Yep. Where's the bit that it steps over and becomes horror? You know what I mean? Because you can deal with anything. But I think you have to have an appreciation for the genre. You might tell one story, but you can't continually do it, or else you lose your edge.
Yeah, absolutely. Because then you could just end up falling, into the same habit of producing the same type of stories over and over and over and over again. Or you could have this 20 novels that sound pretty similar. So you got to make sure you change. Yeah, exactly.
Never mind. Think of the amount of stuff he's put out there, and you can almost tell it's a replication of a story he's done before.
Yeah.
Not many people talk about that. I'll have Stephen King's fans coming after me.
I'm sorry.
For all his hits, he's had more misses, and a lot of stuff's just repetitive.
Yeah. I'm not going to put down any Stephen King fans, but I do not like his writing. I find it very jarring. I've never completed a Stephen King book. I've tried, but I can't. No.
Never.
Unfortunately.
The Shining and Misery.
Yeah, but I didn't even like the books. That's
the two I've enjoyed the most.
Really? Oh my God, I couldn't even get past. I don't know. I don't know.
I got into the Dark Tower series, but it just started getting. It's more like a.
Right.
I don't know. He's just, like some of the scenes he's just thrown in like splatterpunk for the sake of it. Just it
That's right.
was. Um,
Yeah.
I just found it hard. I mean, I just found it difficult to keep going with the story. I think after the Wheels of the Kala, I was just starting to go, "Fuck, is this going to end anytime soon?"
Oh, yeah. Yeah, there's so I mean, I find it quite hard to find horror books to read at the library and stuff like that. Like they don't have a horror section, so they all sort of put all the books,
They put under
in
generic
order.
fiction. Yep.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like you have to basically read the blurb on the back to see if it's a horror or not. And half the time I get home and I'm reading it and it's like it's not even a horror. So why am I reading this? I give up. Yes, Wolves of Clara.
Of the Kala. That's fourth book.
Oh, right.
Just after it just goes, what is this? This is just drivel at this point, just padding out for the sake of it.
Yeah. 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 So
Americans
I don't
are
know.
weirdly fixated in Tolkien for some reason.
Yeah, of course.
And they have this like strange bitterness towards him. And
Towards
it's
him.
this thing of I'm gonna be better than Tolkien. Stephen King had that's the Dark Tower series. He wanted to be the next Tolkien. They want to replace Tolkien. George R. R. Martin had a chip on his shoulder about Tolkien. You know what I mean? The he went. A lot of them did. It's a weird. I don't understand it. It's like just do your thing.
It's got to be a jealousy thing.
Oh,
I don't know. A competitive. It's got to be. I mean, that's the only thing that makes sense. I mean, I could be all up in arms, oh, Stephanie Meyer, look what she did. A stay-at-home mum just happened to write Twilight, and then next minute she's a huge phenomenon. Yeah, she actually was one that just started writing one night from a dream, but there's 1 in a billion people that have that experience of that's and then I think sometimes maybe people like her, it was a spiritual intervention possibly, I don't know, could be worse, could be 50 Shades of Grey. I've read all of them and I don't know why I liked them, and everybody's trashing the shit out of them, so I've never watched the movies because the books are really good, but I'd never read them again. I've got them on my shelves, but I'll never read them again. It's just
like a one and
these
done
books.
sort of.
That's right. Those types of books. 50 Shades of Grey as a one. Read it once, don't read it again. I could read the Twilight books all over again and again and again and again. It depends. Everybody's completely different. I love vampires, so I love a good vampire story. There's not very many of them out there, but when you do find a good one, So, and I'm a bit worried about writing about vampires myself, really, because you don't also want to fall into tropes and laws and all that sort of stuff. So you just write, I guess, just write and just see what happens, kind of thing. So that's
Do you think there's a certain freedom the short stories give you?
Yes.
That you can experiment.
Yes, because it's such a short amount of time, you've only really got one storyline and one plot. Well, if you want it to work, you're only going to stick to one linear, maybe, or whatever, or jump around, whatever. But it gives you a chance to experiment with lots of different subgenres of horror as well, if you're writing short stories, because you can have, here's this concept. I'm going to write a 3,000 word story about this and this one, and this sounds good. And whereas if you're writing a novel, you are taking a year of your time to get one novel completed, revised, edited, and published. Whereas short stories, if you put them into an anthology or just writing them in general, It could give you a bigger scope of broadening your writing. You know what I mean? Because you're not stagnant for a year, stuck on this one novel. I know people who are stuck on the same novel for the last 10 years, and
That's
I
what I
don't
was
know
worried
what's
about.
going to. Yeah.
Like I said, that's why I hit the delete button. Year and a half, and I'm
Yeah.
like, the more it became a monkey on my shoulder, it had to be fed, and another monkey on my shoulder, and I was getting to the point of I'm never going to finish this because every time I went back, there was something else I had to
Yep.
go down the rabbit hole, and I wasn't enjoying the process because
Yep.
I didn't believe in the story. That's I couldn't understand
That's.
what it was. What was because you know me, if I throw myself into something, I throw myself into something. That's not my
Yep.
issue.
Yep.
But when I went through all this process, I realized I didn't believe in the story I was telling. And that
Oh, wow.
was see that moment of realization.
Yep.
That was it.
Yep.
Delete button. Oh, finished.
Yep.
You know, all of a sudden it was a monkey just jumped off my shoulder. I didn't have to feed it anymore,
Wow.
and I was able to move forward. And I think I've
Yeah.
done more productive.
Stuff
When was
since.
that?
Yeah. Wow.
That was the end of 2023. I did that.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Jeepers. It wasn't very long ago.
No. That's the end of
Wow.
2023. That's what was holding me back.
And then you went on to publishing. See?
Carried
Mm.
on with this. You know,
Yeah.
that was holding me back because I couldn't get it, out over the line. There's something I had to go through the process to realize it wasn't happening, and the reason why it wasn't happening.
Yeah.
Once I hit that and crossed that line, I was able to
Yep.
move forward. And
Yep.
well, see now the rest is
Well, the rest is history.
Yep.
Exactly. Exactly.
Not
Yeah.
to say I won't write another novel or
Yeah.
do
No.
anything else, but getting that thing off my, getting that monkey off my shoulder.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Absolutely.
Have you ever had that though? Have you ever had a point where you've started to write something and you've just realized no?
Yeah, plenty of times. Plenty of times I've gone to write something and like I'll have a prompt or something already there for me to do, or a concept. And when I start writing it, it's like it feels like it's going to be a good story, but then when I start writing it, and it's like I get to a point where it's like, hold on a minute, I'm going to have to do too much work to this. It's not flowing, and how am I going to make this story flow to an ending? And if I can't visualize the ending, then I know it's not a good story. So I'll scrap it, because if I don't scrap that, then it'll always be there in the back of my mind that, oh, I can use this again. Or one day I can use this again one day, and
You don't
start
just
it
tell
up
me off
again.
for that.
Yeah, I know, but no, yours were 3 books. Mine weren't novels.
What's the difference?
God, blimey. Big difference. Novels, a lot of work put
No,
into
but
that. A
still,
year and a half.
I have you heard the thing flogging a dead horse?
Yes.
The
Yes.
phrase.
Well, see, you realized that, but I realized mine very early on. I used to have bits of pieces of paper lying around with concepts, and I've written it all down, and I've got to a point where I can put it on the computer, and I put it on the computer, and I'm putting it on the computer, and I'm like, and then I read it back, and I'm like, there's nothing in it. It's no substance. I didn't put 100% into it, and so I just scrap it. And it's only because I might have only written 1,000, 2,000 words or something. And so I can say quite confidently, I'm never going to use this because I'm not going to work at it. I don't have the time and energy to put into this story. And what is the point of this story? That's what I ask myself. Is there a point to this story? Is there a lesson? Am I giving and what's the vibe I'm giving on the story? And if it's not working for me, I get rid of it. and it might be 2,000 words later, but I don't want bits of, because I've gone back before and I've gone, oh yeah, that's right, I wrote this story, blah, 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 blah. And I'll go back and I'll look and it's like, oh, actually, I only wrote like 1,000 words, or maybe even,
It's like
I
picking a
don't know.
scab, isn't it? You've got
Yeah, it is.
you have to let the scab heal, but you go back and you pick it.
Yeah.
Next thing you know, you're.
And because every time I went back into my folder of all my short stories and stuff that I've put together, it's like, oh yeah, I'll do that one, and I'll pull it up, and it's like it's got like 6 lines or something, or it might have half of it's done, and it's like, oh no, I can't have this in my because I keep coming back to it, so I have to get rid of it, otherwise I keep coming back to it, and I know it's not me. You know what your sort of passion for writing is, and if it's a concept, like if I decided to write a story about Bigfoot, it's like, why would I write a story about Bigfoot? But something in my mind said, oh, this would be a cool one. What if you went camping and blah 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 blah, and I write it down, and then Bigfoot, and then I'm like, oh fuck, who cares about Bigfoot? Why am I writing about Bigfoot? So I just get rid of it, you know what I mean? So I don't know.
I suppose it's still working if the story isn't resonating, because there are ways to write about various things.
But I would not get rid of a novel. I just wouldn't. I couldn't do it. But I understand why you do, and I understand why other people have done the same thing. But yeah. So no, yeah, I have.
So I suppose last question, just to wrap up, and that, what's the plan for Volume 3? Have you thought about how it's going to be different again, or have you something else in mind, or are you thinking, like, is the Mistress of Darkness series, is that going to go on and on, or do you have an end point for that and another sort of theme that you want to go with?
Well, what I might do is maybe one more and see how we go on with that. Obviously, we've got a huge biography coming up.
Yep. Which we're working on now. We're still working on that currently. That's right. That's going to be an ongoing thing.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I think what I'll do maybe with the next one is probably a mixture of both this time. Just maybe, I haven't really thought too far ahead about it, but it'd be in line with both of them, of course, obviously. But then again, I do have a novel that I've been working on since 2018, which is finished, basically. It just needs to be revised. So I'm thinking about that in the future as well, because it's a really good one. It's my baby. It's the reason why I did the course, was because I sent it to an editor. I sent it to a publisher here in Petone and in Lower Hutt, actually, and he sent it back to me going, fucking awesome story, but your editing sucks shit. Go back to school, do an editing course, and then come back to me later. And I was like, you know what I did? I was so arrogant. I said, you've got no idea. I know how to edit. And I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe I said that to a publisher. Now looking back, I'm like, Robert Steele will never take my books. Because I was like, you have no idea what you're talking about. Fucking arrogance of me. It was just like, and now I'm humbled. I'm a lot more humble than I am.
Did you need to go through that though?
Yeah, I did. Otherwise I wouldn't be here right now. You know what I mean? I'd be lying in bed reading books all day and watching Netflix, because I'd be have no purpose, have no, I mean, like this biography coming up, I mean, that's keeping me busy in my spare time as well, which is great, because I can't have idle time. I can sit there and watch a video, but I have to be doing something at the same time. So I'm either knitting, or I'm playing a game, or I'm doing two things at once. Otherwise, you know what they say, if you want something done, give it to a busy person. That's true. Yep, absolutely. Because once you procrastinate, you can end up living in your bedroom on the internet for the rest of your life. And being mentally ill, you really, really have to that's not an excuse to sit on your ass and do nothing. It's an excuse to get up and do something, so you're not stuck in that mental illness ruck of depression and
But that's
anxiety
normal
and
health as well, like normal mental health. Isn't
well-being.
not having an issue.
Yes,
It's just to not have mental health problems, to
yes,
keep your mind healthy and your body healthy. You need to engage with the world. That's why I was saying you have to engage with the world,
yep.
and you can't be a
You have to.
storyteller. You
No,
can't.
and honestly, I've had people say to me, "How dare you say writing horror is cathartic?" It's like, well, actually, it's part of my therapy. Writing horror is part of my therapy. That's what keeps me well.
One of my last short stories is why I'm not in prison.
What?
You know the one I'm talking about, don't you?
Yes. Yes, that's right.
I had to get
Yeah.
that out.
You
I had to get that out.
nearly
I had to get that out.
that was your work revenge.
Yeah. But
And it's
I had to,
bloody brilliant.
that
Yep,
was my catharsis. I had to imagine.
that's right.
I had to just go to the dark place. I had to rather sit and chunder and honestly see what you do.
It's gone.
It's gone. So you've
It's
manifested
gone.
it. It's on the pages, doing something
Yep.
constructive. It's helping you in your life. Where
Yep.
Getting arrested and going to prison wouldn't be helping your life.
No, you would not be helping anybody.
Do you know what I mean? I'd be
You would have
partially hyperbolic, but I just said
1,500 people. 1,000 and what? How many people have you got now? Yeah, all those people would be
1,200
disappointed if
people.
you ended up in jail because you lost your shit over teenagers.
Yeah.
Fucking teenagers. But that's the best thing about writing is you can kill off all your ex-partners, anyone you hate in the world, use their names and kill them off. That's what I say.
Yeah. Just form it's not a form of greater magic. You just invoke,
Yeah.
and you just put it out, and then you pick yourself up. You get on with your life, and you've won.
100%.
You have won because
you're not
you've
in
done something
jail.
productive.
Yep.
The worst thing to do is fall to your base instincts or let them get to you. It's I still get pissed off, but I'm not as even remotely like a grating in the back of my head.
You left it behind. Yeah.
Done.
And that's the brilliance about writing is it can be a form of therapy. Yeah.
But once
and
again,
a way to keep yourself out of trouble.
If it wasn't for the lived experience,
yeah,
that wouldn't have the same.
No.
I think wouldn't have the same oomph to it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You need that.
Definitely.
Need once again, you need to engage with the world. You need to live life.
Yes.
That's one piece of advice I think would give anyone that wants to be a creator is you need to live life.
Yep.
You can't. It's not one or the other.
No. There's no in betweens. Yeah, absolutely not. Oh, and I will just mention one more thing, just in case Clayton Ritchie happens to be watching. What was that?
Procrastination's his favorite hobby.
Oh, is it now?
But you could do so much.
Oh, goodness. Oh, some people. Yes, Clayton Ritchie, if anyone's watching. Anyway, Undying Love is in this book, and that is the one that was adapted into a short story, except some of the characters have been changed for the film. What?
I haven't. Didn't the director's cut come out there on Halloween?
Yes, it did.
I completely spaced it. I have to get on that. That's something I have to do tonight. Shit.
If you can remember. Oh, do you want me to send you the link so that you don't have to go around looking for it? Oh, cool.
I'll go find it. I just completely bloody hell. Halloween, like I said, Halloween to now has just been.
No, you've been too busy, and you've been doing interviews. You've been on interviews and stuff. Yeah, that's okay. I didn't remember until that day, so I stayed up for it. It was only Clayton and I there, so yeah, it was cool. It was a cool version, actually. I have to say.
I have to get on that.
Yeah, cool.
No, but there you go.
All right.
1 and 2's out. Here we are.
Grab your
collection's
copy,
building.
guys. It is.
Get your shelf nicely stocked.
Yeah.
And it's not the end of the story. It's not the end of the journey.
It's not. It's just the beginning.
Yep. If I can keep the same pace for year 2,
you can.
Yeah, that there's lots more coming down the pipeline.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. We enjoyed it.
Yay! Thank you. Yeah, I'm a bit sick in the head, but hey, gotta love it.
Link is in the description of this to go to the page where it gives all the ban options because it's all over the place.
Yeah, they're everywhere.
Yep. Go ask your local bookstore if you want to go that direction. They can order in copies.
And
anything, in fact, that's our way. If you don't ask, you don't go out into they'll not pick it up. They'll not know it's out there. So that's something you can do. Go ask your local library. It's available in libraries as well. It's in that admin thing that puts it in libraries. You know what I mean? So libraries can order them in.
Yep.
All that good stuff.
Yep. Excellent. And thank you, Colin. Thank you so much.
No, thank you for trusting me, honestly. Especially when it's like brand new to this. This is not as if I've been doing this for years. Like it's like brand new endeavor.
Yes.
I didn't know where it was going to go, if it was even the first volume was going to come out, or it was going to fall flat in its face.
Well, it didn't. And it's not going to. You're only going to get better and better and better. So, yay. So this is as much a celebration for me as it is for you.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad to be part of this. Honestly, it's fun to work with you and put these together and be a helper I can. You know what I mean? And help you achieve the vision. That's what it's all about.
Oh, yes. Yes. Absolutely.
But there you go, Del. Thanks as always. And grab your copies. And thanks for everybody who turned up and who turned up in the chat and lurking as well. See us as well. So just as to say, until next time, keep updated with the channel, do the technical things, and remember to keep it creepy, keep it horrific.